now? Just testing the mic. Okay. So this is a little website app I've been working on. It's similar to YouTube's home navigation bar. And I'll explain that what I mean by that now. So if you notice here, we have this treat, the hamburger icon. It's called. YouTube has one as well. There's their logo, their brand. There's their search bar. Here's some other tools, other links, and here's like a profile icon. So if you notice, mine has a search bar and kind of a side navigation menu like YouTube does. And there's like this like menu here which is kind of similar to this, you know, just a bit of a different style. I haven't copied them completely, but I'm just kind of inspired by their design layout. There's like that's the front end. It's built with Vue.js and CSS and HTML. I'll show you the code for the front end now. It's a Vue project. Vue is a JavaScript framework. Vue and JS, it's a JavaScript framework. So I'll just show you that there. So when I kind of finished this, I was kind of working on getting Stripe working. Still working on that, but I know it's possible. I've seen other kind of examples and things. So you'll notice there, if you're watching the screen, you kind of see a Visual Studio Code open here with my project. So there's like there's this views folder which was kind of used from an example project I was using. I kind of merged two projects and kind of merged the folder with views, and the views folder and the components folder kind of contain most of the view files, which are basically the components of the web app. So we'll start with the navigation bar. So this is basically the navigation bar. It's built with raw CSS and HTML, a bit of Vue. Here, this is JavaScript here, Vue JavaScript. Bit of advanced CSS, bit of keyframes there. That's pretty cool. So here's like the side navigation bar. You'll see here's the HTML for that. It's just a load of router links, which are basically just anchor tags, which are just normal links you see in the web browser. And then there's the brand there. It's just text, just a link. And then there's the hamburger thing. I'm using Font Awesome, and it has the hamburger built in. The CSS and change position and kind of where it is and stuff. So here's the side menu, and kind of I'll show you what I mean by that now. It's this menu here. Here's that, the HTML of that. Kind of the account thing here. So when it clicks this, it triggers this function which basically just shows and hides this div, which is basically just a load of the links to different routes in the web app. There's basically when you click each of these links, then it changes the current page to these relevant pages here, and it basically closes the menu. I need to check something. Yeah, I'm still live. So that's good. Okay. And then there's some other pages too. So we'll just go explore the app first before we go dig into the code. So we're already logged in here because it saves in the browser session, not session, so the local storage. It saves basically a piece of text we basically just identifies us using a token. So basically, you'll see here there's a login and sign up option. This open login like you can in YouTube, and you've got these two options here. Basically, sign in with Google and Facebook. This is advanced, and that's OAuth 2, and that is advanced kind of stuff. Basically, here's just the front end kind of simple login form. There's loads of dummy data, dummy accounts I've been using. Hopefully, they're still in the database, so we'll just log in normally anyway. So look, yeah, that works anyway. So there's the email, the roles user, here's all the tabs. I'm still kind of working on that now, but like you can just see I could add in content here and kind of just have these pages too. But like, it's just kind of example just to show the kind of the basics of what tabs are. And if you'll notice that the tabs changed the router here to kind of a sub router within the profile route. I'm using a second router to route all these links on top of the profile um, route. And then there's the all persons. That should hopefully this works anyway. Yeah, here's the dummy data. Yeah, it's just loads of dummy data. I'll show you the database right there now. So basically, we click the admin there of the database, and then there's it's in the people zone thing. We'll stay away from the users thing. We'll stay with the persons columns. We'll click person out. Hopefully that shows all. Yeah. So here's just all this dummy data. ID 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just all this dummy data. I use the dummy data generator to create all this just random data. And then there's like so that's all the persons that you're seeing when you search. You can search for persons. So look, we'll search for Aldrich Hollow. These are fake names now. Aldrich Hollow, I think it was. It's not as advanced as Google search, obviously. Like, look, and you can click view more information, kind of view more information about that person, and you can even change the information as well. So kind of we'll change it to Charlie. You just message me for some reason. And then we click update. Oh no, I need to fix it. Has what's it called client side validation to make sure we're entering the right site with the right data. There's a bit of I kind of hard inserted the domains instead of URLs, and that's why there was an error there. And basically you can search for other people then, so we'll just search for what was it, Adrian, I think was the name was Adriana, and then there's like just another thing, and we can kind of delete this person. We're not going to do that now, but export it then and basically just give us a PDF of that person with most of the attributes, which you can see how this could be extended and kind of modified. This is just a fake image. I use a fake image generator as well. So that's all persons export profile. I can add a person. I'm not going to do that now because it takes a while to fill out all the form. Upload file. This is pretty cool, and this will actually upload file across the network and on beyond the servers. We'll just upload some random data there. This is just some random PDF that we exported. Click upload, and then it's actually you can download it then again. Just click, you can download the files that you uploaded. It's just a demonstration of how to upload files. Yeah, that's pretty much most of it. Delete as well. You can see that. Let's go dig into the code. So we'll start with the front end because it's a bit easier. I'm just looking for Visual Studio Code and there. So we'll look at the add person. It's just basically just the CSS, and you notice with the view there's script, template, and style tags, which are basically just it kind of merges all of the relevant front end code into one file called a .view file, which is just kind of it's unique to this JavaScript framework. And you'll notice we're kind of binding to the placeholder here with the person and the first name of the data in the JavaScript. Basically, we're using data binding there, which is just a shorthand for vbind. This would still work if I left it like that. That would still work. But a shorthand for data binding is just use a semicolon for an attribute in HTML, and those can be custom as well, directives I think they're called. So then there's you can bind to props, which are basically sorry, not directives. You can bind to props. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm still trying to kind of remember most of it. I kind of should do a refresher on some of my code. So here's like the data. Here's the person object. It's just blank, and then it basically loads it loads from the server from the back end a certain person, which basically parsed from the is a part, but what's this again now? Add person. No, this is just blank. So this basically sends the data we put in the form. So we look at the person there. Person view more. It's called that. And there's basically so this one's a bit more complex. All right. So as the person's the same thing. But this time it parses the route to get the um does it? I think it does, yeah. Sure. Um I'm sure I find it where it parses the route. So there it is, like it just hard codes in there from the route object. Um and then just kind of gets the person ID, which is basically so I'll search for Adrian again. And then there's view more information person 354. Um, it basically parses that number from the route and uses that integer um, to send a request to the server, which basically returns as JSON the data you're seeing here, and then it binds the data from the JavaScript into the HTML and dynamically parses the server data. So that's the front end. There's a lot of the front end we'll show there now. I won't go through the whole plugin file, it's very complex. Um, um, we'll do that another day. We'll kind of just we'll touch on it a little bit there. So we'll start getting into the back end. So I'm running the server, and that's what you're seeing here. This is the output. It's a debugging mode, so it's kind of extra verbose output. So this is the token provider. So this is for the sign in. With OAuth and just normal sign in and stuff. So then there's I'm still trying to wrap my head around that because I kind of used some of the code after that was off GitHub, but I merged it into my own project and kind of got it working, which was a good day's work. So we'll go to the controller, we'll go to the person controller, and you'll notice that you can only access these routes when there's when the user signs in on the front end, basically when there's a token in the local storage, and basically it just calls a service, which is basically just a wrapper of the functionality of manipulating a repository, which I'll explain. I'll show what that means now. Repo person repo. So here's the what is it? Service which is um person service implementation. So here's the searching functionality, which is kind of pretty advanced. We search query by specification, which I was just learning myself. It's very new to me. It could be a bit faster, but that's just kind of what you get with Java. This is the exporting. You'll notice here, this is where it actually creates the PDF file from the data from the database, which I think is pretty interesting. I'll kind of make this a bit bigger and kind of close this smaller. So this is the person service there. This is all on GitHub if you want to have a look. If you're interested, yeah, so it's person service. I'm working on the payment controller, doesn't work. The files controller is looking advanced. I don't even understand half that. I used fucking some code I found online, which is like pretty advanced. Got it working in the end. Kind of wrapped in my own kind of merged it with the authentication kind of functionality there as well. Kind of got it working. Works okay. I have to kind of dig into that a bit more now if I want to kind of extend that and kind of maybe send the files somewhere else, maybe some other server or something. Model. So we'll go into here. Here's the person, which you kind of know. So I'm using this thing called Lombok, which automatically creates the constructor, getters, and setters on on runtime. So here's all the attributes. Um, Basically just strings, booleans, chars, longs, doubles, integers. Pretty much there's the user ID. Spring automatically uh, uh, connects to the database functionality through object relational mapping, and basically we can query the database just by querying a repository. A repository is just a special object that is linked to the database that allows us to do like mundane tasks like find the user by ID and delete by ID and things like this. Common things that you would normally do, like Um, yeah. So then there's yeah, that's all related to OAuth. OAuth is pretty advanced. We'll have a look at that here. So for the crack. So here's some of the OAuth crack. It's very advanced. But that's what we're meant to do. Like we're not doing something simple here. Like we're making complex simple. Um, you know. Um, so this is all this guy called Java China, which I think he used someone else's code as well. But it's pretty good code. I'm pretty impressed by it. Someone definitely has a big interest in what they're doing. The JSON web token crack, it's very basic. Security services, I started adding a bit of Stripe. I haven't really got to that yet. That's the next thing to do, I suppose. Just kind of work on implementing Stripe in Java, but I suppose a lot of that will cross other languages as well, which could be very beneficial. Learning how to accept credit card payments, that could be very helpful for business applications. So that's the server there. I showed you the database. Can't show you the passwords and things like that, but um, I think that's enough for now. Yeah, sure, cool. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.